back here, Go Live Studios, Las Vegas. This show is called Full Tilt Vegas. This segment I'm going to be doing on blackjack ratios. We're going to go over single, double deck, 6 deck, 8 decks, card counting. You can get all this information in my book. It's in the book Winning Ways. I sold quite a bit of copies in July. You can get it the hard copy, or you can get you can ebook it, Kindle it. It's also available on Barnes and Noble. But I was really proud because I was one of the top selling books in 2018 on Amazon. I was number 7. Are we getting that, Aaron? So I was really proud of that. So you can go ahead and get my book, read it at your leisure time. I'm going to be probably see if I can get together with Aaron here. I want to see if I can do an app. I don't know anything about an app. I just want to get my app. Also, you can go to my website. You can go to Deltory 360 Entertainment. You can go to my YouTube channel. It shows all my videos. I got horse racing. There's blackjack, roulette, keno, poker. Episode 14, I had Anthony Curtis, the guy who owns Las Vegas Advisor. You need anything about, you want to know anything about Las Vegas, cheap rooms, food, and all that, you can go see Las Vegas Advisor. I had my poker was episode 17 with Rob Goldstein. And so you can go ahead and see all those videos, but I cover quite a bit. I go through ratios, percentages. I go through when you're a newbie, and I got a lot of questions that when I was a dealer, MGM Corporation. I also deal in California for 16 years. I'm still doing that now. But all this information on all the questions I've ever gotten, that's why I devised this book for beginners. But you can learn from the beginning and be an expert at the end, because I go into advanced blackjack, advanced roulette, and advanced craps. And craps and roulette, I show you how to hedge bet. So there's all this information is in this book. A lot of these videos that I'm doing it here. You can see these videos on all the platforms, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. I can't remember all the other ones. There's like 8 platforms that we got here at Go Live Studios. All the stuff that I'm doing it on this, and all you gotta do is look at my YouTube channel, and they're free. There's people charging $600 or $1,000 for them to teach you, and I'm going into like me and you as one-on-one, and he charged. A lot of people are charging this kind of money, and I think it's ridiculous because there's some of the bets that they're telling you to bet. I don't think they're very good bets, and they don't explain to you what the rates or percentages for the house and what you got. Like there's a lot of bad bets in craps. That's why I like hedge betting, because you can hedge against those bets, or your own bets that are actually good bets. As a right better on craps, you can also bet hedge betting. You're not necessarily a wrong better, but people will think you're a wrong better, but you're actually hedge betting. And in my book, I go into hedge betting and money management. Money management is the most important thing in gaming, is money management. Okay, what I'm going to do here first, I'm going to go into, I want to get this out of the way. I'm going to use a single deck, and then you can see my deck here. I had a friend make this deck for me. I tried to get more decks, but they moved and I couldn't get this going. I have one deck of it's in the book Winning Ways. I had them made for my cards. So what I'm going to do here, I'm using one deck. Okay, I'm going to take out cards of random. I'm going to take out, it doesn't matter how many I take out, and I'm going to start the count at 45. Now this count is a newer way of counting. It's older, but the original count started at IBM 704 computer. Thorpe, he's the one that devised basic strategy and the original card counting, and I think there's a flaw in it, even though the guy was a genius, because in this method here, you count all the cards. The Edward Thorpe method, you don't count 7, 8, 9. Why wouldn't you count them? I know why they don't count them, but you should count them, because they use them to split and double down. So why don't you use them to count? That's why in my book I have a page on the method I'm showing you here, and I shouldn't really say that. I just say the original way of card counting. I don't care for it because there is a flaw in it, and I prove it in the book. I show you this one and that one, and I can show you the difference. The count is off. That's why the MIT team lost half the money. It was about $4 million. I think it was in August of '95. They lost half the money they won because their all the counts were they were close sometimes, but sometimes they would be so off. They're just way off. And that's why they lost half their money. Now, they can dispute it, whatever they want to say. That's my opinion. Everybody has an opinion. That's my opinion. But if you go into my book, you look at that page on card counting, on old way versus new way. I just call it the new way. Because it was after. But I'm going to show you how why the casino doesn't want card counters in a casino. Now, I'm going to pull out, I don't know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. Now look how many I just shoved out. I don't know how many I shoved out. So I'm going to leave those here. I'm going to leave all those there. I haven't seen them. And I'm going to go, I haven't done this in a while, but I can still count. Okay, the count starts at 45. So I guess start the count at 45 and get rich at 49. Once you become rich at 49, on a single deck, we'll start at 45, get rich at 49, past 49, that means the deck become rich in tens. So if it goes up to 59, 60, this deck is full of tens. So I'm going to go ahead and count right now. And let's see how many tens are over here and not in here. So I'm going to start counting. I think I got it right. Let me see if I got this right. Maybe I'll count again, but let me just try it the first time. These cards are a little tinier, a little harder. Okay, let me see. There should be 4 tens. There should be 4 if I got this count right. There's 1, 10 value cards. There's 2, there's 3, 4. That should be it. Thank you. I got the count right. Okay, you could see there are only 4 cards. Now you got a magician could use this trick, but see that I told you there's 4 10 value cards because I counted this deck. Start the count at 45 and get rich at 49, and I'll tell you how many 10s are left. So if these 10s here are drawn and discarded, then that's how many 10s are left in the deck. That's why they don't want card counters in the casino. So you can see there's 16 in one deck. There are 16 10 value cards. 16. So here's 4 of them. Let's see, 16. There's not 10. There's 16. So yeah. So that's why they don't want card counters in a casino. So you would be rich in 10s. Now some people say, well, if I can do that, I'll go ahead and see if I can still do that. People think, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to a single deck or a double deck. That's the worst thing you can do because, in my opinion, you get too many stiff hands. Stiff hands are 2 through 16 on a single deck, so you'll probably more likely bust. Now, somebody can say, well, let me see. Let me make sure these cards are really shuffled because what I want to do. Let me just put these out here. What I'm going to do, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me just do this and say this is the Dieter's cards. Now, if you look at a single deck, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5. There's already 5 showing. You always assume that's a 10. The bottom, you always assume that Dieter has a 10. So there's 5. That could be possibly 6. So there's only 10. There's only 10 value cards left in this deck. So somebody's going to say, well, I'm going to go to single because I can keep track of that. Now, that's called card recognition, and that's also in the book. I show you card recognition. I'll show you that scenario right now. But now, if you're keeping or counting cards or using card recognition, you'll see, well, there's 5 here, and there might be one of the last 6, so that means there's 10 left. This is the problem. The casinos years ago, it's kind of obvious. On a single deck, if you keep track of 10s, then you're going to say, what's going to happen? What are you going to do next time? Instead of you betting $5, what are you going to do? You're going to bet a stack of 25s because you know the 10s are coming out. Well, what they've done is when there's, let's see, there's 2 players. I think it's 2. It depends how many cards they take. 2 or 3 players, they'll deal twice out of a deck. If it's any more than 4 and up, they only deal 1 time because you're going to be taking multiple cards, and that gives a card counter or a card recognition person that's doing tracking the cards. They can't do it because they reshuffle and start over. So you can't do it. But you got to remember, so there's 5, possibly 6, and then the other thing is you get too many stiff hands. Like this is a 14. I don't know what's coming out. I don't know who's going to help. You wouldn't take a hit here. There's a jack. More than likely, there's a 10. Say it's 20. So this guy's got to take a hit. So he takes a hit. Oh, he got 19. Now watch this. Since I'm doing this now, you saw that, Eric? I'm going to show you. Okay, there's 1. He didn't bust. 2. Okay. Oh, that's 21. Okay, that's good. Well, this is working out for him. There's a bust. There's a bust. An ace. 21. Oh, all the goodies are coming out for him. And believe me, normally this don't happen. Bust. Bust. 20. Bust.
What are you doing?
Bust. I'm showing you how many times you can bust on a 14. The bust ratio gets really high. Oh, this goes over here. But I can show you that how many times you will bust. And a lot of people will say, well, why would I not take a hit? Well, you should take a hit because basic strategy says that you should take a hit on it. But if you're card counting, you wouldn't, because this count right here was probably low on a low count. That's why all the small cards came out. Now, if you were card counting, you would know that. So you would probably take a hit. But in the long run, you will bust on the bust rate. Now, this 14 here is a little bit better to take a hit. Once you get at 15 and 16, the bust ratio goes really high. So this count here, I wasn't counting, but I can tell you right now, this count was low. That's why the small cards came out. So on a single deck, if you were counting cards from here, you would know, because every small card, would be that. Face value card, they're small, they're called small cards. This would be a large card. They're usually 2. That is the ratio. Now I'm trying to find a 10. That is the ratio in a single deck. There are 2 small. Let me see if this was a 10. Nope, it was a 2. Okay, yeah, that tells me that this count was a low count. In other words, if it went from 45, it was probably somewhere around 15. So if it goes for 15, it's going to take a long time to get to 49. So you know there's a lot of small cards coming out. Now, if you get a chance to do this with 6 players, if you get a chance to do 6 players on the first run, because that's all you're going to get, 1 run, and you're sitting at third base, you got a shot of you're not busting on a 14 or maybe even a 15 because the count is so low. It might have been, so it was probably around 14, 15. That's probably what the count was. So, but it's in my book. You can look this up, and you can actually practice this and find out. Well, you will find out when you're using card counting. You're going to find out that when the count is really, really low on a single deck or a double deck, you can find out you probably won't bust. But I don't like it because you end up with stiff hand. That's a stiff hand. That's a 14. You have to take a hit. You should take a hit. Now, if you're card counting, you might make it an excuse and say, I'm not going to take that hit because I bust on, I hate 14. I hate it all the time. You can just make them act dumb or act drunk, and I'm not going to take a hit. You could do that, especially if the count actually is high. It'd be the reverse. 10s are coming out, so you would never take a hit because you're card counting. Now, so for every small card, we call them small cards. It's been called small cards for a long time, but they're called face value. For every face value, there's always a 10. Is this a jack, king, 10, queen? They're 10 value cards. For every 10, there are 2 small or face value cards. Oops, this one's all right. So what happens is at the end of you counting a single deck, start to count at 45 to get to 49. There should be 4 small cards left. Face value card. There should be 4 left. Once there's 4 left, when there's 4 left, it doesn't matter. Even if it's an ace, it has nothing to do with it. An ace in this the newer way of card counting, an ace is a 1 or 11. Excuse me, you count it as +1, an ace. On the old way, you count it as a -1, so it's a +1. So it goes over here, and after one deck of you counting, you should have 4 small or face value cards. Once it goes over 49, 50, 51, 52, 55, 56, that means there's a ton of face value cards, 10s in the deck. So if you're on a single deck and you're card recognition or usually card counting, you better if you're over there third base, even second base, it depends how many cards they're taking. You can go ahead and hopefully if you get 5 6s, like I show in my book, I split on 6s. It's the same thing as 5s. You get 2 5s split, 2 6s split. If you get 2 6s, you might get a 5, so you can double down. But you can go ahead and next time, well, you can't do it next time. So you're hoping the bet you're either going to split, double down, because you're probably going to have smaller cards to double down and maybe get a large card. Now I'm going to show you this card recognition. I'm going to show you. I'm actually put these up. I'm gonna do this scenario because it's kind of obvious, and I do this on some of my shows, some of my gigs that I do in California. I do this. Now I don't make it too obvious. I kind of throw maybe a king or a 10 value card there, and just to say I do this. Let's just say, let me do another 10. I usually do this when I show people card recognition, because I do teach too while we're playing, and they like it because they want to learn. And then you give, let's just give the dealer a deuce. Okay, now what do you see? What do you see on the table? You see you got 6, usually 7 players. What do you see here? Now, the person is using card counting, and they're looking here. You can only see 2 10 value cards. There's only 2. So that's using order for card counting, but card recognition, you can see this really easy. So there are 2 10s, so you know this thing is full of 10s. There are 14 10s left in the deck. So over here, what would you do on a deuce? I'm not going to do the down card. Over here, what would you do? Now, if you had, say you had $25. If you had $25 here, and you know that the deck is rich in 10s, you might want to double down, because first of all, you can't bust on this because this is 10 or 20. This is 20. So you got a 9. This is you can use this as an 11, so it becomes 20. You can't bust on this because even if you screw up the hand, you still can't bust, and the dealer has a deuce showing. So you would probably figure this. I don't know what this card is. I'm going to pull it over and let's see if it's a 10. Double down for more money. Bam! There it is. It's in the book, Winning Ways. It's a 10. So he's got the same thing. He has 20, like he had here. Now he's got 20, but he has for more money. He has a chance for more money. So now this is a problem. Yeah, you can split 6s. You can do that. This 2 here, this deuce showing. I guess I can talk about. I was going to do that another way, but I'll just do that now. You see the deuce? Okay, in a single deck, there are 35 to 13. That is, I got this in the book. I devise these tables. In the book, it says a single deck, 35 to 13, that you will not bust. Now you got to remember something. The dealer has the same percentage, or the ratio. They have the same ratio. So you had like here, you have a deuce and a 10. That's the ratio that I will not bust, taking a hit. 35 to 13, I will not. There's 35 cards in here. I will not bust, and only 13 I will bust. That is the ratio on a 12. So he can't. So he can't. He's got more money for the same number, 20. Now this guy here has 6s, and I always say split 6s. As long as the dealer has a deuce through a 6, because the 5 and 6 are huge bust cards for you or the dealer. So here, this is scary because the dealer has the same ratio as him. You always assume the down card is in. I didn't give it a 10. I didn't give it a card, but I'm going to say what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split these 6s. I'm going to do this. Oh, there's a 5 6 there. I'm going to split these. Say this guy's betting. Say you're betting 5. This guy's betting $5. So he said, I'm going to go ahead and split these. So you do not touch the cards. On a split bet, you would put the money over here. This would be a double down when they both touch, and a split is like this. And the dealer will take the original money and he'll move it over here and put the new bet to your left. So he'll go ahead and do this. Now the first card you get is the last card. So I'm gonna give this one a card, and the reason why I'm taking splitting this because you can't bust. I got 6. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is interesting. This is a single deck. You know the 10s are coming. Look at this. You have 3 10s. That means there's 13 10s still in the deck. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and take another 5. Now I'm gonna double down. So it would touch, and hopefully this is a 10 for this one. It's an 8. Good enough. Okay, now this might be a 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a card. Nope. Okay, now look how many 10s are missing. What was the ratio? Remember the ratio I told you? For every one 10 value card, there are 2 small cards or 2 face value cards. You see that, Aaron? Two face value cards. This is the ace and a 9, and this is a 10. So that's the ratio. So that's correct. So you got 1, 2, 3, and I probably should have gave you a down card there, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, 3. So there are 13 face value cards left in this deck. 13 cards. So this guy would not take a hit, because if this is 10, he busts. Now this is scary. Even the ratios in this guy's favor, 30, the standing count in the beginning. Unless this is there's no, on the discard rack, you'll notice there's no cards unless the dealer, they probably discarded 1 card. Never mind that card. Never worry about that 1 card they discarded. Just don't worry about it. But so right now his ratio is 35 to 13 that he's going to bust. So the ratio is in his favor not to bust. Now does he want to take a card? Now more likely he probably wouldn't take a card, because if people you follow basic strategy, he wouldn't take a card. This guy over here is telling him don't take a card because he needs that 10. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and skip this guy. He didn't take a card. I'm going to go ahead and skip him. I want to take a card, but I know the ratio is really high of him busting. So I'm going to pretend this guy over here, he's got $5. Now he's going to double down. So he's going to go to 10. Hopefully this is the 10. Remember, 13 10s left. So let's see if this is one of them. No. Whoa. Look at the count. Now, if you were card counting, you would be going, oh my God. If you were card counting and you were these 2 guys, they would know I am not taking a card. There's no way I'm taking a card. Now, people that are using card recognition, it's kind of obvious. You can see this. There are 3 10 value cards. There are 13 left. Look how many face value cards. I can tell you right now. There'd be 1 here missing. There'd be 2. That goes to that one, 2. There'd be 3, 4, 5, 5.5. This 5.5 haven't came out, even though there's 13. That is, you're looking at the ratio, 13 coming out, but there's 5.5 missing right now. If you actually pair all these up, 2 face value cards to 110. So these 2 guys are a card. I should have gave this guy a card. This is probably a 10. It probably is. I should have gave it to him in the beginning, but we'll see if it's not a 10. Okay, I'm not going to take a card for these 2 guys because this is probably a 10. So let's go ahead and flip this over. Now, I'm not cheating. I should have done it before. It doesn't matter because I set these up anyway. Okay, here we go. Oh, boy. This is probably a 10, more than likely. If it's not, this guy's got 16. The dealer's got 16. If this is a 10, he has to take another card. He's got 2 cards to become a 10. There's 13 of them left. Let's see. There it is, 16. He's got to take a card. Let's see if it's another 10. Nope. Wow, he lucked out. So this actually worked out pretty well because I'm going to show you why. Because you know there are 12 face value cards left here. Now, yeah, okay, he didn't bust, but guess what? You're over there thinking, ooh, next time, guess what I'm gonna do? Where's my $100 bills? Ain't gonna work. You know why? Because they're gonna shuffle the deck. You got 6 players here. They're gonna shuffle the deck, so you didn't get that chance. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these down. I'm gonna show you. Watch. Here comes the 10s, and this is you. Here's you with your $100. Now you get a card. Whoa. Okay, that's probably a 10. Okay, you would take this because that's a bust card. Not a 10. Look at this. Oh, there it is. Bust. 20 probably. There it is. 20 because the 10s are coming out. You can see all the 10s that will be coming out. That's why they'll shuffle the deck because they don't want you to get those 10s. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. They're probably on the bottom. Yep. There they are. Anyway, so that scenario is on card recognition and the ratio of tens coming out. Okay, I'm using one deck. This is a 6-deck shoe. So what I'm gonna do here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so if you have a 12, yeah, that would be, it doesn't matter if it's a 10 or a jack, it's still a 10. So it's 10 deuce, the ratio is 35 to 13 that you will not bust. So it's 35 cards you won't bust, 13 you will bust. Now on 2 decks, it's 71 to 29. There's 71 cards on 2 decks that you will not bust and 29 you will bust. On a 6-deck shoe, there are 215 on a 12 that you will not bust and 93 you will bust. On 8 decks, there are 287 you will not bust and 128 you will bust. Now these ratios are in my book, and I love to know this because when I'm playing, when I'm counting, I want to make sure I keep the count, and so when I'm going to hit on 12, I'll know what the ratio is. The other thing that's really close to that is, let me see. Let me go over a blackjack right now. So those numbers, those tables are in the book. Now it's really, blackjack is really close to 12. That's why sometimes I get confused because the numbers are really close. On a single deck, if you have, oh, it doesn't matter what you have. Well, okay. Let me give this guy blackjack. Okay, if you have blackjack here, and the dealer is showing, if a dealer has a 10, they just look if they have an ace. But if they have an ace, they have to look if they have a 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and give. I guess it doesn't matter. I give the dealer. Well, you know what? I can't do that. This is what I'm gonna do. I'll do this. Let me do this instead. This is even better okay. I'm gonna give him blackjack. I'm gonna give the dealer an ace. And I'm going to shuffle these, and I'm going to see what the ratio is going to be for him, the dealer, getting one of the 10s in here. I'm hoping, well, it doesn't matter because the ratio, I'm going to cut this. You see me cut it. I'm going to put this on top, and I'm going to take this card and slide it. I don't know what this card is. I'm going to put that on top. Okay, this ratio, these are starting ratios. In the beginning, a single deck or double deck or a 6-deck shoe or an 8-deck. These are the starting ratios that you learn in the book. So this ratio, starting ratio on blackjack, on a single deck, would be 33 to 16. So there's 33 cards. The dealer is not going to have dealer will not have a 10. And there's 16 cards the dealer will have a 10. Now, there's kind of obvious, there's one right here. So if it's just you already know there's one missing. So now the dealer only has 15 chances of having a 10 under there. The ratio's in your favor, the dealer's not going to have blackjack. So that's why they offer insurance. So why do you think they do that? To help you? No, it's for them. So if you have $10, you have to bet half. With $5, if you're on a $5 table, the dealer will have change, $2.50. But if you're betting $10, you have to bet half the bet. So half the bet will be $5. So you're putting up $5 to insure your bet. You'll end up breaking out even when you do this. You won't make no money, but you won't lose anything. So I suggest do not do this because the ratio's in your favor. That's not going to be a 10. 33 to 16 is not going to have it. I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. I want to see. Let's see if the dealer caught one of the 16, 16 actually be 15 because there's one here. So the chances of them not having is even better. So, but never take insurance. And the dealer's going to ask the person that has blackjack, do you want even money? Just say no. All you got to remember is say no on even money and blackjack. Just don't take blackjack and just always say no. I'm going to flip this over and let's see if the dealer caught one of the 15 cards. Well, here it goes. Drum roll. He probably has a drum roll. Oh, I'm good. It's in the book Winning Ways. See, the dealer didn't have it. I shuffled the deck. You saw me shuffle the deck. He did not have it. The dealer asked you for, this guy just lost $5 of his bet. He just lost $5, gave it to the casino, and now even if he wins this bet, he's only going to win half because he lost 5 of it over here. So what I'm showing you is it is in your favor to say no. The dealer's not going to have it. This is in the long run, and this does work because math and ratios don't lie. 2 decks, it's 69 to 32. 69 cards, they will not have it, and 32 they will. On a 6-deck shoe, there are 213 cards. The dealer will not have blackjack or a 10 value card under there, and there are 96 cards they will have it. On an 8-deck shoe, there are 285 they won't have it, and 128 they will have it. So once you know these ratios, you got these ratios memorized, you'll know not to take certain bets, or when not to pressure bet, or when to split and double down. So you can see the ratios are in your favor not to do this. So that's a single deck. So I don't like playing single decks because the ratio is in your favor, is not in your favor. You get too many stiff hands. Don't play single and double deck. Why do you think they advertise it? For you? No, it's for them. Now there's a lot of card counters. I know some guys that like playing single deck, but they got to catch the run right off the bat. Now, once you become a card counter, remember, I talk a lot about card counting because you should be card counting. You shouldn't be playing blackjack. You should know basic strategy first, and then you learn the card count, which is I say the new way of card counting. Because once you learn that, you'll never play blackjack again. You will not walk up to a table and play. You feel like, God, man, this blackjack is so far against me. I shouldn't even be playing. You feel lost. Once you learn the card count and you learn card recognition, you will never play blackjack again without it. And when you're you need to practice for about 6 months. I'd say at least 4 to 6 months at your home. Get a layout and practice with the layout. Because you'll have the actual atmosphere. You want to put on music later, loud music, and card count. You can do that. In my book, I show you how to start the card count: 1 deck, 2 decks, 3-card offset. You'll learn that. 3-card offset. It would be 3 cards. It'd be, say if it's just you and the dealer, that's a 3-set off count right there. So if you're counting 1 deck 45, this count right now is 41. You would already know this is 41 because this is negative 1, negative 1. So you're already down. So you would learn this in the book, and you will play blackjack. And if you're watching discard rack, always remember, when you go to a table and card count, you got to start at the beginning. You can't come in already when the dealer's already dealing. Like your count will be off. So it's got to be in the beginning of a shoe, or the beginning of the dealer's giving the first cards to the people. Now, don't worry about the first card in the discard rack. Don't worry about that. If they discard that card, don't worry about it, because you start getting all, my count's 1 off. Don't worry about that. Now, if once you start to card count, hopefully you're going to go to 6 or 8 decks. Now, the Indian casinos, they're the ones that really was scared. There's a casino where I live, and they really freaked out about card count. I know a guy that was card counting. He was making a ton of money, in the thousands. So what they did was they start going 8 decks and 10 decks. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with it. You just start to count different. On an 8-deck shoe, the count would start at 27 and get rich at 59, not 49, because it's 10 more. There's a 10 more 10 value cards. So that's all you got to do. You just adjust the beginning of the count, and it's in the book. In the book, Winning Ways, Avi. In the beginning, you'll see. So yeah. So when you're playing and you're counting, a true count would be a deck, probably a deck and a half. If you see a deck and a half, once you start card counting in the discard rack, that's more than likely that's a true count. If your count goes up really fast, and there's like, say, I don't know, 20, 30 cards, that's not a true count. So you can't do that. You got to wait until it gets about a deck and a half, and then that'll be a truer count of when you're counting. Because even if it's a lot of 10 value cards or a lot of small cards, it'll be off. The count will be correct, but the ratio of cards coming out will be wrong, because there might be when the dealers shuffle all these cards, there might be a ton of face value cards or small cards in the beginning, and you be counting, and there might be the count's really high, but then all of a sudden when the count is high and the 10s are out, all of a sudden there might be a whole deck of small cards coming out. Then you'll get back to the original count. Wherever you start at 25, you start at 25 at 6 decks. Start at 25 and get rich at 49. Then the count might, once it starts coming up a deck and a half, somewhere around there, now the shoe will even out. So you just remember that. I tell you everything what I'm telling you now in the book. So you can go over and look at that and memorize it. These tables that I devise, if you memorize them, it is so crazy the stuff that you will know in blackjack. Card recognition, single deck, double decks, ratios of 12, ratios of blackjack. It's crazy. Now on a ratio of 16, I have that paper in there. I have to see if I can remember. I think it's 6 deck shoe. I think it's no, single deck was 20 is on a 16 is 20 to 28 in the casino's favor, and then 2 decks is 60 to 40 in the casino's favor. That's 60 for them and only 40 for you that you will not bust. 6 decks, I think it's cheaper. It's 181. No, I think it's 181 to 160, and then 8 decks is 252 to 160. That is the ratio on 16. In other words, 252 cards you will bust when you get 16, and there's only 160 can help you. So the ratio the bust ratio is really high. So that's why I don't like playing single double decks and getting stiff hands like 16, 15. That's the worst stiff hands you can get. 12 is the best, because there's only one card can bust you, and that's a 10 value card. But all these tables that I devised in here, they're in the book. You can go ahead and memorize those. If you get 12, which would be what is that? What is it? No, 15. I think it was 15, 7, and 8. I show you scenarios now what the ratio of that is. So yeah, you can go ahead and get that. I suggest you can Kindle it, have it on your phone, because you'll have it everywhere you go. A lot of people seem to like the book, but I understand that hard copy, but I think you'll have it even you're in Vegas. Oh, I forgot that book. Well, there it is on your phone. Or you can download it. If you forget, you can download it when you're in Vegas, wherever you're at in the casino. It only costs, I think it was $9.90. Okay, what I'm going to do here right now, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to run it's my trader. It's a movie trader that I shot. I actually shot it. I think it was two or three cameras. And Aaron here, I met Aaron. He's the one that I finally met someone that was reasonable and not giving you a bunch of bull crap. I sat and I talked to him what was going on, and all these guys wanted millions of dollars, and I told him, hey, I'm not Steven Spielberg. It's a low budget trader. And so we talked about it. He said, don't worry about it. He says, I got all the equipment, I'll fix it. So anybody has wants to do a video, a trader, a music video, or any kind of video, commercial, you can get a hold of Aaron here. If I even put up that number, I can never remember that number. But yeah, it's here, Las Vegas, Go Live Studios. So you can look it up. It's in Las Vegas. He took a while for him to fix it, because it was 2-3 cameras and it was screwed up. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to show this trader right now. It's 360 Entertainment. Okay, we're back. Right here at Go Live Studios. Aaron's going to put up the number. If anybody's interested in doing a video, or you can go get a hold of him, and he'll go ahead and see what you got. Maybe you can shoot your video, or you want to do a commercial. It's very, very reasonable. You can go ahead to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube and hit the notifications, so you get all the notifications on what show or anything that's coming up on Go Live Vegas or Full Tilt Vegas. I get so confused because there was another one. There was another show called Time to Vegas. There's a lot of Vegases. So Aaron asked me a question here. He doesn't understand. I told him, just get the book. You got the book. Read it. So I'm gonna. He wants me to explain what does that mean. The count going up and to a certain thing, and the ratio. What is it, Aaron? The ratio of
1 to 45.
1 to 45. Okay. Okay. What that means is when you're card counting, when you start, let's say one deck, the count starts at 45. And you the reason why you get rich at 49 is because there's 4 cards in a single deck. There's 4 cards left that are face value, aces. I don't care, 8, 9, whatever. That means that the ratio of 2 small cards caught up to the 10s. So once you start at 45 and get rich at 49, these cards have caught up to the ratio 2 to 1. So once you get to 49, that means that a whole bunch of smaller cards are coming out. You got rid of the 4, so now more small cards are. It's what it's doing is leaving the 10s out, and the count keeps going up. You got 49, 50, 51, and you got 52, you got 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. The count goes up to 57. Guess what's left in the deck? Got them right here. I got a whole shitload of them. Guess what's left in a single deck? Here's all the 10s. All the 10s are left because the count went up. On a single deck, the count starts at 45 and get rich at 49. That means when you get rich at 49, that means all the small face value cards have caught up to 2 to 1 for the 10s. And now the count keeps going up higher and higher. You get to 60. There's a whole bunch of 10s left. So that's what you're doing. You're getting the count to go up. If it goes way up, there's a lot of 10s. If the count goes way down, that means that all the 10s came out and there's a whole bunch of small or face value cards left in the deck. So you would know not to take a hit or to take a hit. If you get a stiff hand, say you even got 15 and the count is 13 on a single deck, you know what? You're probably not going to bust because all the 10s already came out. You got all these small cards left, so you're not going to bust. What you're doing is you're weighing either a high count or a low count, small cards or face value cards. That's what you're doing when you're card counting. It doesn't mean you know that's a 10. I know that's a 10, but the count gets really, really high. Say it goes to, say you're counting a 6-deck shoe, and the count goes to 75. You know what? More likely 10s are coming out. So what are you going to do? You're going to know either not to take a hit or to double down. Or even if you got a split hand, you're going to say, I'm going to split those because I got 2 6s. If I split them, if I get 2 10s, I got 2 16s, 2 stiff hands. The worst stiff hand you can get is 16s. It's not that hard to card count. It really isn't. Anybody can do it. That's why I say in a 6 or 8 deck shoe, I like 6 deck shoe. I played them both, but I like six decks better. You will get less stiff hands. You get a ton of stiff hands with a single and double deck, and also you won't get a variety of smaller cards that you would in a 6-deck shoe. So if you keep getting 15, 16s, you're probably going to bust. Your next card is probably going to be. It doesn't have to be a 10. If you get a 16, 7 will bust you. If you get a 6, 6 will bust you. You have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have all those cards you can bust with. That's why I don't like a single or double deck, because you get too many stiff hands and you'll probably bust. On a 6-deck shoe, you have a lot of smaller cards that could be coming out, so you won't bust. But yeah, on a 6-deck shoe, the count will start at 25 and get rich at 49, because there's 4 in one single deck. There are 4 small face value cards. Well, 2 decks is 4 more, and 3 decks is 4 more. Well, you get to 6 decks, you have 24 cards that are small. You have to get rid of all those before the shoe of 6 decks get rich in 10. So 25 gets to 49. Once you get past 49, and you don't have to wait till 49. If it starts going up in say the count goes 25 and you're in the higher 30s, you can actually, hopefully 10s will come out. But once it gets to 49, 50, 52, 55, 10s are going to be coming out more than likely they're going to come out. It's not guaranteed, but that's why do you think Vegas or any of the casinos don't like card counters? It's not illegal. They frown upon it, but it's not illegal. Don't tell your friends that you know how to card. Trust me, just don't do it. It happened to me. I had a friend. I'm not gonna say his name. We were playing one time at the casino that he liked to go to. I was standing behind him. I was counting a 6-deck shoe. The count went way up, and I told him, nah, I wouldn't hit that. And he didn't hit it. The next guy over here got a 10. Or sometimes he would say, oh man, oh, that's a good hand. I'd hit that. So he would hit it. He wouldn't bust. He won 9 hands in a row. The 10th hand he won, he lost. You know what he yelled out? That card counting doesn't work. Oh my God. The dealer looked at me. I said, hey, George, I'm leaving. So I took off and I left. Bill, Bob, what did I say his name was? But, so just don't do it. Keep it to yourself. I know it's hard to tell somebody. It might come out. You guys might get drunk. He might say something. I got to learn our card counting like you. Don't do it, because once you get caught, and the dealer will call the floor, and the floor will say, sir, you can play any other game, but we don't like you playing blackjack here tonight. What they're gonna do is, if they take a digital printout of your face, they'll take a digital printout, and it'll be on your iris, and they'll take that and they'll go in the Book of Griffin. Once it goes into that system, you can be banned in this entire planet. So you don't want to do that. There is people, I do know a few guys that are banned. You can dress up as a bum or a lady, it doesn't matter. The software they have, they'll know it's you. Especially when you start winning, you watch the 4 guy will go over to the podium. He'll pick up the phone. He'll call the eye in the sky. If your table's table 14, let's say keep an eye at blackjack table 14, and they'll start watching you. If you start making a lot of money, there's crazy moves like you're not hitting 12, you're not hitting, or you're doubling down on 12, or you can actually double down on blackjack. You can do that. I wouldn't do it. I mean, some people get greedy because the count is really high. If you have blackjack, it's time and a half, which is the same thing in craps on the 5 and 9s. You have to put the proper unit, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Well, on blackjack, you have to have, if it's $15, you hit blackjack, you get paid $22.50. They will pay you the 50 cents, but the proper on blackjack would be time and a half. So if you have that and you double down, say if you have, I don't know, $50 and you put another 50, and you get a card, and it's a 10. It's now not blackjack. You now have 21. But you got, instead of $75, you can make $100. You're making $25 more by doing that. I wouldn't do it. You cause tension to yourself. I've seen people. I know people are card counting. When I play blackjack, sometimes I can tell somebody's card counting. You can even skip. You can tell the dealer. If you keep getting stiff hands, or you say you're on a little losing streak, you can tell the dealer, you know what, I'm gonna. You can ask the dealer, can you burn a card? I want to know if you can burn a card, and they'll call the floor and they'll burn a card. They'll ask how's it going. He says these guys are really losing, or this guy's losing. What's
the reason for that?
The reason for it? Because the person that's losing, he keeps getting stiff hands or losing. He's tired of the way the cards were shuffled. He doesn't like it. So he can ask the dealer, can you burn a card? They'll have to call the floor and they'll ask the dealer, why does he want, what do you mean he wants to? He wants, because he keeps losing. He wants to burn a card. And he said, how many times did he lose? He's lost 8 in a row. He goes, the dealer, the floor will tell him, go ahead and burn a card. It has nothing to do with it. No, it has nothing to do with it. Trust me, it has nothing to do with it. He's just getting those cards. Because I'm going to tell you why. Anytime a person, say a person on the first or second or third, it doesn't matter. Every time you take a card, you're changing the game, not the dealer. Those cards are already preset. They're not changing. And even of a shuffle tracker, they're not changing. Those cards are preset. They put them in there, they go in the back, and they reshuffle. But they're all, if you see it open up, you'll see it look like a fan. Those cards are already preset. They're not shuffling in a shuffle tracker. They're not. So on a 6X shoe, they're already preset. You can walk over there and tell the dealer, get out of the way and deal. You're going to get the same cards. It doesn't matter. So they'll burn the card, or the guy can say, I'm going to sit this one out. Now, card counters do this. You got to be very careful. Card counters do this. The count is low. They want the count to go high. So they say, well, I'm going to go to the restroom. But they have to have somebody standing there watching the count. And you see this in that movie 21, which is like on episode 14, me and Anthony Curtis thought it was bogus. Half the stuff was a bunch of crap. So, but they do that. They have spotters of the big money, and they'll sit there and they'll watch what the count is. And when the guy comes back from the restroom, or he can say, I'm gonna go get me a quick smoke, and he'll come back, and this person here, or they'll be signaling what the count is. The guy can yell out, "Boy, wasn't that a fantastic magazine, Sweet 16?" The count is 16. So if you sit there and say, if you say I'm gonna sit one out, that's fine. They probably really won't say nothing. But if you start sitting out and standing there, and you're sitting there and you're watching all these cards come on, and then all of a sudden you start playing 300-400, they know you're a card counter, so you can't do that. And so there's just ways that I tell you in the book how to do this without getting caught. Now, I can card count drunk. I know Auntie Curtis was cracking up, but I've been card counting for a long time. I don't wait. I don't count every card. I wait. I use the method of 3-card offset. So if there's 3 cards, what I do is I wait till they all come out. Now, if in the beginning I use I look at the card recognition. I had a late night, trust me, 4 in the morning, I was hammered. So what I do is, if the count is 25, I look over here, I see the dealer's up card, and I look at my 2 cards. Right, I already know the count's 28. I go 25, I don't go 28, 25, 26, 27, 20. I don't do that. I already know the count. I look at it, 25, 28. You'll learn this, 3-set off counting. So you go 28, now I can do this. I can either go from 28 to -6 right at the back, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is, I already see there's 10 value cards. So I go 28, the count's 20. Boom, it happened that fast. I counted that fast. 28, 20. The count went from 25 to 28, back down to 20. I counted that fast. That's how fast you can card count. And so then once all the cards are out, then you start going like this. That's 20. There goes 21. He's not going to take a hit. Say they flip over. That's 22. That's 23. Now the count's at 23, and he stands at 17. Then you count single, but you'll learn to do 3-set off count. So you can do that. But that's how fast you can count. I can count a deck in 23 seconds, which if you can do it if you can count one deck as fast as you can flip it over. It's as fast as you can flip it over. That's how fast if you can do that, that's what you practice first. Once you do that, if you can get down to 25 seconds, that's great. I did it in 23 because I want to see how fast. I couldn't flip them fast enough. So if anybody tells me they did it in 19 seconds, I don't believe them, because I don't know if they can do that, flip it faster than me. As fast as you can flip it. Fast as you can flip it, you got to count. So I got up to 23 seconds, and that's really good. And so once you do that, then you start. What I've done is I take 6 decks, and I get these long tables, and all I do is I put them all out. I put all the 6 decks completely out on these tables. These tables are going like 12 feet that way, then it went probably 6 feet that way, and maybe 10 feet behind me. I put a 6-deck shoe, and I put them all out, and I walked the table. I walked it and started to count. I go, well, here it goes. Counts 25, and boom, boom. I was walking and counting it. I was walking all the count. Boom, 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 boom. And once I got to the end, at 49. Start at 25, get rich at 49, end at 49. But that's, if you're really interested in card counting, it's believe me, if you have a bankroll, or you get a couple of guys in a little club, you just don't say nothing, you can make some money. But you remember, you're going to have some bad runs. That's why you have to have a bankroll, because you will have you will catch a bad run. But in the long run, you can make some real money. Just be careful. Don't go $5, $25, $5, $200. Don't do it. They're gonna know your card counting. And the other thing is tracking aces. Don't do that either. A lot of people use chips. What they do is they when they see an ace come out, they have all their chips here, and they drop one right here. There's one. Okay, there's so they don't have to keep track of it. Some dealers don't care, but if you're making a lot of money, they'll start watching the table, and the eye in the sky is going to see this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 aces already out. You don't have to keep it in your head. You just look at the chips. Oh, there's 4 aces already. 4 aces already been discarded. So that's another thing. Don't start tracking aces. So let me see here. I think that's about. I could go on this. Let's just say this part 1, because I might do this again. When this comes out, we'll already be what's it called Unicon. We're going to Unicon. When this airs, Unicon will already be over, but that's where we're going. So I think this is going to be the end of this segment, BlackJack. I hope I helped you. Go ahead and get the books in the Book Winning Ways. You can Kindle it, Google Play, and also hit that subscribe button and notification. You get all the notifications that are coming up. So I'm going to say bye here from fabulous Las Vegas, and me and Aaron's going to go have lunch. Thank you, and we'll see you next Saturday.